Good morning, folks. Sun's just coming up in Alberta. Thought we'd go for a little walk here with the pup. Well, seems like it's almost election time. Something's happening. Folks are getting ready. You know, I pay a little attention to the news just to, stay on top of things and see how issues are framed and how things are reported. And I'm seeing a lot of let's blame unvaccinated people for COVID variants, and it's COVID. And it's just odd to me how it seems like a lot of people, and the media especially, just don't have memories. They can't remember anything from like a week ago, a month ago, last year, or how we got here. I just don't get it, how people just don't remember. You know, the government ignored military intelligence about COVID towards the end of 2019 and early 2020. While we were all seeing videos out of China and people dropping in the streets and they're welding apartments shut, and whether those videos were real or not, I don't think they were, but it's what we saw. So, beginning of 2020, we all knew something was stirring, and the government was more concerned about racism that didn't exist. If you wanted to keep Canadians safe, or perhaps have flights shut down, or anything to try to stop a virus spreading and killing Canadians, the government said closing borders is racist. And those that are even contemplating that idea are probably racist. So the government of Canada was more concerned about racism that didn't exist than our lives, your life, my life, our families, kids, parents. It's a little frustrating that people don't remember that. So while they're concerned about that, COVID is spreading across the country. Then they said they had enhanced airport screening, which they didn't have for months. Even the media reported that and went to the airports to show there was no enhanced screening. And when they finally did get some enhanced screening, from what I heard, it was like an iPad that you would walk by and touch the screen to answer questions. And then on and on, when they said masks don't work because they didn't have enough, and our national stockpile, they threw a lot of it out and didn't replace it. And then what little we did have left, they gave to China, which was a nice gesture to try to, stop the spread of this virus, but they left us high and dry. And when the government said masks don't work, did all the doctors and nurses take theirs off? No, they didn't, right? Because there's a reason why people wear masks. For medical reasons. We may not have liked it, but in certain situations, definitely in hospitals, you should probably wear a mask. Especially with a virus, so. Anyway, it was just on and on and on, all these decisions that the government made, and they weren't honest. And they just let COVID spread. And the entire time, Canadians have been blamed. Depending on what you're protesting, is how it's reported. And then, if you're protesting to defund the police, or for a terrible incident that happened in another country, the Prime Minister will come outside and kneel to defund the police. But if you want freedom, or you don't want your business destroyed, or you don't 100% agree with the government for some of the reasons maybe I just mentioned, and many more reasons, they label you racist or a far-right extremist, and they just lump everybody in together just to demonize and dehumanize people. And it's just a sad state that we're in right now. It's almost like conspiracy theories 6 months later become reality. Seems that way lately. Whether it was vaccine passports or COVID jails. And it's just been lie after lie after lie from the government, which allowed this all to spread. And whether you know, how much you believe in it or not, or, I mean, I firmly believe everyone has a right to choose, you know. You have a right to be afraid or not. You have a right to stay in your house or not. You have a right to wear masks or not. And if you feel like you need a vaccine, then get one. And if you don't, that should be okay too. And the public pressure and the division and the way the media and politicians are turning all of us against each other when none of us had any input in any of these decisions. They're blaming regular Canadians for all the failures that were their decisions that allowed us to get to this point. We doubled our federal debt. It took 153 years to create our initial debt. And we doubled it, if not by more, in 1 year. You know, they're pretty much printing money. And it's election time, so they're giving more money away to the different provinces. And healthcare here, childcare here, and all this, and it's just money we don't have. Generations of our families are going to be paying this debt. And the side effects from the lockdowns, from mental illness and overdoses and suicides and divorce, drug, alcohol abuse, domestic abuse, depression. You know, I don't even want to know the numbers on the depression in kids. You know, Canadians are going to be paying for the lockdowns and the decisions of our government for years and years to come in multiple ways, not just financially. And nobody seems to mention this or to even report it. And pretty soon it'll be the media and the unions like Unifor and these other people who are, you know, heavily involved in the media that are going to be just demonizing people again, calling people racist and extremists and rednecks and all the different insults that come out at election time, you know. Conservatives dance with white supremacists, like the Liberals said. And we've got one of the most dishonest, corrupt, just jerks in office, you know. And it's just frustrating for just a lot of regular Canadians to just watch all of us get blamed for the last year and a half, and we had no say in any of this. So, I never tell folks who to vote for. And I don't know with O'Toole this time if there's much of a choice. They, you know, the Conservatives have their own carbon tax. They might not call it that, but that's what it is. You know, O'Toole says the debate on climate change is over. Why is it over? The climate is changing. It always has for billions of years. Hot ages, ice ages. But what we need to discuss is humans' impact on it. How large of an impact or how minimal of an impact really is it? You know, and I'm not going to get into a big scientific argument here because everyone has their own thing, but the Earth has been much hotter and much colder and had higher and lower CO2 levels with and without humans. You know, have we contributed? Have we put things into the atmosphere? Of course we have. Is a carbon tax that just makes everything more expensive and everyone's life harder while our emissions go up every year a little bit anyway? Or is little Canada going to save the world when we're out polluted by other massive countries? Yeah, we're not going to change nothing. We can help a little bit, keep our country clean, take care of our environment, but by making Canadians poor and creating energy poverty and food poverty and making it harder for Canadians, are we going to change the atmosphere of the planet because some corrupt, dishonest people say so? I doubt it. There's other ways to go about this, but things like carbon taxes are the easiest because people can feel like they did something without actually doing something. You know, it's the easiest way to take money from people, and you can get that self-righteous feeling of, hey, I did something, when really they're just giving the money to their friends and it'll eventually become government revenue, right? Just like in British Columbia. So, like all of you guys, I see a lot of these issues, and it's just frustrating to see how short everyone's memories are and to forget how we got here and to just let things go the way they are and to let Canadians be blamed for all of this. And, you know, I'm not happy with the Alberta government, but at least they're standing up a little bit to Ottawa, a little bit. But we certainly need those referendums to come and at least get some sort of leverage, something, move some responsibilities from Ottawa to Alberta. We'll see how that goes. So, just wanted to say hello. And a little frustrated watching the news, and maybe I shouldn't. You guys have a good day.